Coronation Street sets Abby on a path of vengeance against Carl, with Ryan also closing in. Coronation Street appears to be steering Carl Webster straight back into danger as Abby launches her long-awaited retaliation and more residents begin lining up to bring him down. Despite narrowly avoiding consequences once again, Carl now faces mounting pressure from those determined to see him punished. Recently, Abby uncovered Carl's secret relationship with James Bailey, along with his intention to flee to Germany without telling her. Her suspicions grew when she stumbled across a holdall stuffed with cash in his car, prompting her to swap the money for old newspapers before confronting him about his betrayal. Their relationship quickly collapsed, and a heavily intoxicated Carl stormed off before crashing his car with Sister Debbie beside him. In a calculated move, Carl shifted Debbie into the driver's seat while she was unconscious, later relying on her loyalty as she falsely supported his version of events when the police arrived. In tonight's episode, Carl angrily confronted Abby, accusing her of taking the missing cash. Clearly enjoying his panic, Abby mocked him and insisted she believed the £18,000 had come from his illegal car theft schemes. "You can't just leave money like that lying around," she joked coldly, admitting she had used it to clear her debts and donated the remainder to charity. Her confidence soon faded, however, when Carl revealed that the money actually belonged to Debbie, though he claimed she had willingly given it to him. Doubting his explanation, Abby headed straight to the Rovers to get the truth from Debbie herself. Although visibly devastated to realize Carl had been stealing from her, Debbie once again chose to protect him, even if it meant sacrificing her own dignity. He was in a bad way. Completely desperate, Debbie insisted, deliberately misleading Abby to shield her brother. Frustrated that her revelation hadn't achieved the reaction she hoped for, Abby then exposed Carl's affair with James in front of the entire pub. While Carl attempted to deny the accusation, James soon confessed, forcing Carl to leave after being told he was no longer welcome. Later on, Abby visited Debbie to apologize for unknowingly spending her money. She admitted she had no way to repay the cash, explaining that she was currently unemployed. Debbie suggested another way to settle the debt, proposing that Abby return to work at Kevin's garage where extra help was badly needed. Elsewhere, Kevin reassured Tyrone Dobbs that he wasn't giving up on proving Carl was responsible for the hit and run that left him injured. Not long after, Ryan Connor paid Kevin a visit, revealing that he too was determined to see Carl brought to justice. Ryan explained that he suspected Carl had been siphoning money from Debbie's hotel by manipulating her access to the finances. He added that he had been quietly collecting proof with the intention of turning it over to the police. With enemies closing in from all sides, the question remains whether Debbie can continue shielding her brother or if Carl's luck is finally about to run out. Coronation Street confirms Jod's secret connection to Airedale's Graham in major storyline. Viewers will soon discover the long-hidden bond between Coronation Street newcomer Jod and Airedale's resurrected character Graham Foster. The truth behind their connection and the reason both characters become involved in the Corrie crossover will be revealed on screen, setting the stage for a dramatic storyline stretching into spring. Speaking to the Mirror, Corrie producer Kate Brooks confirmed that audiences will finally learn why Graham had Jod restrained in the back of his van. The show will unpack how the pair first crossed paths and what forced Jod to flee in terror before being rescued by Kit Green. Kate explained, "We'll revisit the events leading up to that moment, uncovering exactly why she was in the van and how she is linked to Graham. We'll explore what happened between them, how Jod ended up running for her life, and what part Graham played in it." This storyline grows significantly as we move through spring and into summer. This revelation follows the confirmation of Jod's family ties to Shona Platt. It has now been revealed that Jod is Shona's sister, and their long-awaited reunion will allow the soap to examine previously unseen chapters of Shona's history. Meanwhile, questions still surround Graham's shock return from the dead. The character was believed to have been killed in Airedale back in 2020, leaving fans stunned by his sudden reappearance and the revelation that he is somehow still alive. Some viewers think they may have worked out how Graham survived, with speculation suggesting another character may have helped him fake his death. Others are convinced the man on screen isn't the real Graham at all. One fan commented, "What if Graham isn't actually Graham?" While another noted, someone mentioned that the subtitles called him Bruce. A third viewer added, could he have a twin? Because the last time we saw Graham, he was definitely dead. Elsewhere, fans have suggested that either his former partner Rona Goskirk or businesswoman Kim Tate could have orchestrated his disappearance. Posting online, one viewer theorized, in my head, after Pierce killed him, Graham pretended to be dead. Off-screen, he contacts people to make him look lifeless so everyone believes he's gone. Even that sounds far-fetched, but I can't see how else they'll explain it. Another fan admitted, I've never been this confused. He was absolutely dead. I've seen theories about a twin or a fake death or maybe Kim being involved somehow. Coronation Nation streets will set to lash out at Daniel once more following festive nightmare. Will Driscoll simmering jealousy spirals again in Coronation Street next week as he targets Daniel Osborne for another angry outburst. Although manipulative Megan Walsh attempts to keep matters under control, Will's behavior threatens to put her dark secret at risk. At present, only viewers are aware of Will's hidden involvement with his sports coach, Megan, who has been exploiting him long before either of them arrived in Weatherfield. To disguise her disturbing actions, Megan has been openly seeing fellow teacher Daniel, a situation that has left Will furious and increasingly unstable. As Daniel and Megan's pretend romance appeared to deepen over the Christmas period, Will's resentment reached boiling point, and he violently attacked Daniel in a ginnel, leaving him unconscious. His grandmother Maggie later staged the incident as a random robbery. But forthcoming episodes suggest Will's anger is far from under control. In scenes airing from Monday the 12th of January, Daniel busily organizes a birthday celebration for his son Bertie. A devastated Will looks on as Daniel and Megan carry gifts and a cake into the Barlow household next door. Daniel later informs Megan that Will has been causing problems at school, leading him to hand out detention and further straining relations between the two. At the same time, Will becomes fixated on whether Megan spent the night at Daniel's flat and angrily demands answers. As the week progresses, Will's bitterness resurfaces when Daniel borrows Ken's car. Approaching the vehicle, Daniel is shocked to find an obscene image sprayed across the side. But will he realize who is really responsible? Back in the General, Megan tears into Will for his reckless behavior, furious that his jealousy has nearly exposed their secret. How will respond to being reprimanded? Megan thrives on control, and she's terrified that Will is attracting too much notice. A Corrie source explains, the last thing she wants is anyone becoming suspicious about the inappropriate nature of their relationship. Will is clearly unable to rein in his emotions. The question is whether Megan's warning will be enough to stop him going any further. Coronation Street airs on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and streams on ITVX.